Reaper Live!
I've never seen the intro before.
I've never seen the intro before.
Neither have I.
Freaking Ron.
Yeah.
Ron's doing stuff with his family tonight, so he's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Being
Ron
a-
looks a little bit different.
Yeah, being a family man.
Yeah, I'm back.
Welcome, guys. It's Reaper Live, number 249. I hope I put that in the title.
Yeah.
It's another episode of Reaper Live this Thursday night here on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and I think that's everywhere we are.
TikTok.
No,
Not
because
yet.
Wow.
for side tangent. Well, we'll get to that. But yeah, tonight our guests are Pedro Pascal,
Yeah.
Beyonce,
Yeah, Beyonce and Elizabeth Olsen.
Elizabeth Olsen.
And anybody else?
we decided to bring it, up a few generations from
Yeah.
where it normally is. So, yeah, I mean, Ron's not here, so the kids will play, as they say.
Yep.
So we have no oversight on this episode, so you guys are about to get all the deets.
Yeah, all the fun stuff.
What do the kids say nowadays? You get all the tea?
Actually, it's really funny because we give away less than they do.
Yeah, true. I mean, Quindy, you are right. He's starting to become a little bit oversaturated. Pedro Pascal. He's starting to become a little bit too much,
It's really funny. I didn't know who he was when Lauren and I went to watch Wonder Woman 1984. She was like, "I'm really excited. Pedro Pascal's in it." I went, "Too."
Yeah.
That was a long time ago, too.
Same
Yeah.
thing for Jack Black. He's starting to, The Rock was that for a little while, where they're like in everything for a little bit. They start to get a little bit too much. But
I do respect Jack Black for this fact that when he is in stuff, he tends to not sing as much. He tries not to sing a lot.
yeah, I like that he does one song. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Mario movie, apparently he didn't want to sing as Bowser, and then they were like, "But you need to see this," and he went, "Okay, that
Okay.
makes sense."
I guess top of the episode here, really quick. I'll run over some things. If you're new here, do #free. If you're in the Twitch chat, if you're watching, I know we got raided right before this. I think in trouble maybe. So if you're coming over from that, do your #freeze to get entered in. We do drawings every 15 minutes here. We'll be talking about ReaperCon, a little bit of DDRPG, Board Game GeekCon review, Daggerheart stuff, promos for next month, exciting new paint things. So
Yeah.
we got some stuff tonight. And like I said, the daddy's away, the kids will play. You know what I mean?
Don't let Ron know that you called him that.
I know. Daddy Ron.
Oh, it's getting clipped right now and getting sent to Ron.
I mean, Daggerheart just slightly. I was just, probably at the very end. It's nothing crazy. It's not like we have the miniature rights or anything like that. That'd be
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
But, yeah.
Yep, we're going to talk about the mini for next month, too.
Yeah, it's in 2 days.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
Oh my god, it's so close.
So we got another 10 minutes for the first drawing. So go ahead and get that in.
Yeah.
What has everybody been up to? We'll start with David.
Yeah. David, what you been up to?
I've been gone
Yeah.
pretty much for the past 6-7 days. So
we talking about at work or out of work?
let's do at work, and then we'll do out of work at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. Mostly, I've been doing a bunch of little stuff I have not had time for. We recently rehired someone who's been here before, and so we now have enough people on the factory floor that I can finally get away to do all the little stuff that I have on my list. Including in the upcoming weeks, hopefully the crates for ReaperCon, because I have not touched them since Adepticon, and they've just been sitting there.
Yeah, we're hoping. I think hopefully after we left Adepticon, we talked about getting the crates fixed.
Yes.
But I think the big thing is to get the diffusers on the lights. I think would be a good one to do.
I need to talk to Dave about that. I need to
It's a
try
pretty easy
and-
fix, I think.
Yeah, I need to try and pin him down. He's going to be kind of busy in June. He's got a lot of different personal things he's got going on. He's going to have to be out for, but I'm going to need to at least nail his foot to the ground for like 5 minutes to talk to him about the diffusers and potentially at least fixing a few of the more like big things on the crates. Though none of them are particularly bad.
Yeah.
The
function.
last few times we've sent them, they haven't been like mistreated too much.
Not a have. It's Draw Caroline's.
You know, I'm gonna write that down so I can tell him tomorrow.
Honestly, I don't think he feels like he does, because even on his days off, he comes in here. So
Yeah, on Monday. So Monday Reaper was off because it was a holiday, but I was working at BGGcon, and Dave and Vicky came by.
Oh, yeah.
So they came by for a little bit. I think partly because they wanted to look at the hotel, which I can talk about during BGG, our section on BGG. I think he was looking at the hotel. And, you know, it's nice to see how other people run their conventions because it gives you a lot of ideas for yours. So I think he was also doing that. He also wanted to meet, there's Josh. He wanted to talk to the higher ups about, you know, administrative stuff and, you know, how they do their conventions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Joshua Reyna asks, any announcements for the next Bones Kickstarter?
Not that I know of.
I was gonna say it's like Groundhog Day, but that's not the right one. The thing where you mention it gets pushed off. Oh, right, us getting engaged. That's the thing. That's the thing that gets pushed off every time someone mentions it.
Yeah, you just keep changing the date.
Every time you ask about it, it gets pushed off another 6 months.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I've been getting this question asked a lot about the next Bones Kickstarter. Well, when we went from 5 to 6, it was a relatively short period of time, so we couldn't get a lot of stuff, I guess, built up for Bones 6. So Ron likes to build up a lot of sculpts to have enough substance for the next Kickstarter. So it was just so fast. We wanted to kind of maybe take a little bit of a break and finish up some projects that we had outstanding. So right now we still have DDRPG. Like, we finished Base Boss. We got the building moved.
Yes.
Like, a lot of these bigger projects are starting to fall away, like the Michaels project and things like that. So our plates are starting to get a little bit clearer. And then that way we can actually dedicate a good amount of resources and time and do it justice, kind of. But we just didn't feel like doing it right after. We just wanted to make sure Bone 6 was done so we can kind of reset.
It is coming, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But we also, I mean, beyond the DDRPG and the other things, there's at least a couple of projects that we have been kicking around internally to see if we want to do them before we go to Bone 7. But it is something that we want to have happen. Dave especially mentions Bone 7 every few months at least.
Yeah. We do have kind of a surprise about in regards to Kickstarter, but you'll hear a lot about that probably at ReaperCon.
Yeah.
And around ReaperCon. So I would expect to hear something exciting around ReaperCon. So, yeah.
That is another thing. I don't remember who said it, but the tariffs are another reason that Bone 7 will probably be.
It'll take a minute.
It'll be dependent on what we can do here, if we can do everything here, kind of thing.
Yeah, and it was a good test for Bone 6 that we did 33% or a third roughly of the Kickstarter here.
It felt like we did the whole thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
The amount of casting and packaging it took was a lot.
So that was a good test for us to test, you know, us producing it here.
Yeah.
And so I think it went overall pretty good test-wise. So. The rest of Bones 5 and 6 out of retail. I think a lot of the Bones 5 stuff is out, except for some of the larger stuff.
There is some Bones 5 smaller pieces that still need to hit retail, but the idea was to put them into Bones USA. That project, Ed was actually he was swapping between that and moving some popular metal pieces to Bones USA. And then at some point, the Bones 5 move had to be put aside because Kevin is so busy doing other things that he can't get those ready for Bones 5 or for Bones USA.
Yes.
So but I don't think there's that much left.
Hey, Cranky Source. Yeah, I don't think there's that much left in Bones 5 at least.
Yes.
And the cool thing about Bones 6 is that some of the stuff, it was already 3D printed or COcast of Bones USA. So we have the molds ready. Like, they could just be turned on, kind of, with, you know, giving them new numbers and things like that. Putting them in the system.
For the Bone 6 stuff?
Yeah.
I think we need more of the boxes and stuff, too.
Yeah, like the Knolls.
Yeah. There's we could probably release a few, but he needs to do a whole order of all the boxes and everything.
There's still some Bones 4 stuff. I would have to look about which ones specifically. But
there is a lot of the times with some of that stuff, they look at how popular it was in the Kickstarter, and occasionally Ron just decides it's probably not going to sell well.
Or he pushes it off.
He's basically like, that's going to be pinned until way later.
Yeah. I'm the Min-8th, yeah. I agree with what you said. Yeah, he's talking about all the Kickstarters together.
Yeah. That was a lot all at once, especially because all of Base Boss was done in house. I think there was a little bit we got from another company. We just had them run our molds, but most of it was done in house.
How big can you go with COCast? We must increase our collection of busts. COCast has a really big limitation on the height or thickness.
Yeah.
We can only go about 36-ish millimeters, like thick, which is, it's not super big, but it's like a good ogre size, like a large monster. But
and there's a certain level of volume you can hit with it as well before it starts. I have to either inject so fast that it's guaranteed to flash, or it's won't be able to fill quick enough before it starts cooling and then causes issues.
Yeah, so no Tiamats. Yeah, definitely Tiamats and stuff are out of the question.
What if they're like really tiny Tiamats though?
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean,
Like
we could
one.
We could split things into many parts.
Yeah, that's
but
how you get around that.
At that point, we might as well just like print it as one piece. That was kind of the big thing when we started 3D printing. Was Ed's original idea was if it's going to be one part, or if it's going to be multiple parts in Silecast, we just print it.
Yeah. So I'll show you guys when we go over to the other camera. Remind me about there's a fairy dragon over there, the shimmer scale.
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
smaller version. But obviously that would be an example of a COCast model or whatever. But yeah, so we are limited in COCast on that, just like metal.
Oh my god, Iraqi Tiamat. We need Ron on that now. Chibi Tiamat.
Chibi? Oh yeah, could happen.
Chibi Maltrakar.
I'm sure that exists somewhere.
Yeah.
Or just cutesy Maltrakar, not necessarily chibi, but
But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to text Ron about
we got 3 minutes for the giveaway, just
I was
so you
like,
know.
John, what have you been doing around the factory?
Mold making. So for the longest time, my molds have been building up. I know last Reaper Live episode, we were talking about how we got new material for mold making. And so I was experimenting with that. And so I got even more molds to build. So now I'm kind of behind a little bit.
There's still like 8 sets of masters in Kevin's office,
Yeah.
by the way.
So I have like 20-something masters to make at this point. So I'm a little bit behind because I was gone for 5 days at BGGcon. And so I'm still getting back from that. Because I was like, oh, I'm going to take Tuesday and Wednesday off because I worked all weekend. But then I was like, oh, I got a tour on Wednesday, and then we have Reaper Live on Thursday.
And Wednesday we had the meeting too.
Yeah, so I came in early for that. But
Yeah.
I just haven't, haven't had time off, technically. I had Tuesday, and that was it.
By the way, we the bases for the new release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to make those. But yes, so that's kind of what I've been doing is testing that new material, making sure it was working. We got it fixed. We got it working, I think. And then I got to get caught up on that. So that's the majority of what I've been doing. And then we found out Wednesday, or I found out that we're doing a paint and take at the North Texas RPGcon, which is next weekend.
Yep, and he got voluntold to do so.
So June 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
No, Ron asked him politely. John sighed, and Ron went, "You don't have to." And John went, "No, I got it."
Yeah, so next week we'll be there, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if you are in town or if you're going, come say hi. Come do a paint and take.
Which I believe
I'll be there.
Bonita said she's helping Thursday. Yeah, Thursday.
I do believe Ron is.
Ron
will be there.
is also going to be helping. Yeah, Ron and Dave are both going to be up there helping at different times, I believe.
Pewter Rooster, I saw Pewter Rooster and Mech Boy. So Pewter Rooster and Mech Boy helped me along with Trashorama at BGGcon at the paint and takes. I don't think I'll need help because this con's definitely not as big as BGGcon. So I think it should be okay, especially with help from Bonita and Ron and Kevin. So they'll all be there as well. So I don't think I'll need any help from volunteers, but yeah, enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
so,
when all
yeah.
like 400 attendees swarm you all at once.
Yeah. But I'll be there. I'll be painting. More on that later. Yeah. All right, let's do a giveaway real quick.
Yep, real quick.
What?
Look at that. 15
We
minutes.
don't do
have gone by.
giveaways.
First
What are you
people-
talking about?
Let's go.
That's why everybody's here.
Okay. Gotta get.
Ooh, we smashed Ultimate.
There we go.
What was it?
Oh, who did high?
Yeah. Oh, that was me. I'm so sorry. That was so.
What?
That was way earlier. I forgot to
you go.
erase that.
So one dunge.
Obi Toby Kenobi.
Obi Tony Kenobi.
Sorry, Tony,
excuse
sorry.
you.
Jedi
Jared.
Pick your brain.
And Ishan Loki. exclamation point claim if we said your name. For anybody that's new here, when we pull your name, you have to do an exclamation point claim in chat. And then you can follow those instructions from that Quindy, the lovely Quindy, has put in chat there. Episode number 249 in your email, and you'll get $20 to ReaperCon. Which, hey, look, everybody claimed.
Yay!
Congratulations,
Also,
everybody.
get wrecked, Josh.
Yeah. He knows.
Yep.
When I pull his name, I just skip it. That's not true.
You have it in there, so it can't pull it.
It's weighted. So yeah.
Yeah.
What have you been working on, Lauren?
I've been working on physically. I've been in the factory floor pretty much since we rehired somebody. They've been taking care of internet for the most part. I've been at the packaging wheel, but
Josh over there.
in between packaging things, like minis and actual packages, I've been working on some stuff on the website, getting some tags on some minis so that hopefully we can find some better. I've been doing some stuff on our Wheel of Pain program, adding some more data so it's a little bit faster for us to actually package things, because we have to look at a couple different places for some information when we're packaging. So I've been adding some stuff there. What else have I been working on?
Doing several of the small things I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Anytime I need something done and I'm like, dang it, I have 2 things I need done, I just hand one of them to Lauren.
Yeah.
It's great.
Coordinating the chaos, as my little name placard says right here. But mostly just not a lot of fun things, but a lot of necessary things. Cleaning stuff up around. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's mostly what
I
I've been
almost
doing.
forgot. I built all 4 of the tray systems.
Yep.
All 4 of the paint tray systems that have been ordered. Oh yeah, Lauren's been working on the 331s.
Yeah, the 331s. We've been trying to update some of that data too. I think Ron just has to do a couple more things on that to get it figured out. But there's a lot of the top 100 Bones USAs that have been ordered lately. A lot.
Yeah. We're going to start trying to update our 331, the top Bones 100, at least once every 6 months. Guaranteed. We said once a quarter when we first started talking about it, but depending on the numbers, it probably won't change that much in a single quarter.
Yeah.
But as new releases come out, top sellers it'll start balancing out, so it's like the actual top sellers.
A 331 is mostly for retailers. They're the top 100 Bones USA sellers. So if you're a new retail store and you want to open up your shop, but you don't know exactly what sells fast, you're not quite into role play, or you don't
like a
quite
bundle.
know. It's a big old bundle that it's like, here you go. Here's the top 100 sellers. This is what the people are going to like. And then you can also pick and choose later what you want to add in addition to that. But it's a little cute little box.
With so many new releases, will there be any retirements of lowest sellers? And we haven't done a retirement in a long time, except for the metal a couple years ago.
Yes, and I don't think we're going to do that again anytime soon.
Yeah.
We've talked about, especially with the much lowest sellers, things that don't sell in a year, we might just make them special order, only raise the price on them, and just be they're removed from the wall and for internet's purposes, so that we can pull orders faster. But
Collectors can still get them.
people can still order them. They would just be a little bit pricier. But I don't know if we're going to do that with anything in Bones necessarily.
Yeah.
I think potentially the technicality of maybe if something transfers over from Bones to Bones USA.
Maybe. Yes. That's also another thing, is there will be retirements of certain Bones numbers once we move them into Bones USA.
Yeah.
Especially because just recently we were looking at the swarms. There's 1 or 2 of the swarms from the earlier Bones, 77129, I believe is one of them.
Yeah, 127 through 130, that range.
Yeah, that range. There's some swarms in there. At least one of them is sold out. And one of our distributors asked us when it was coming back into stock. So we actually went to Ron and asked to move it into Bones USA so they could start stocking it again. Just in a different material. So Kevin's been working on that actually, and he just finished, I believe, Rats and Spiders were the 2 swarms he finished.
Rats, and beetles,
Spiders.
spiders. Okay, for sure, spiders.
I was looking at the sculpts. I really hope they were spiders. If they were beetles, they didn't look good.
I believe that is correct, Dr. Bob. Oh, that's a good idea. Yes. Oh, can you write this down for ReaperCon? So Poleth says printable checklist for minis and paints. So some people have suggested this for a couple of years. So I guess we'll transition really quick into ReaperCon then.
Yeah,
this is a good idea for ReaperCon. Is in the folder.
Yes,
we
round
should-
bases on the swarms. Just before I forget.
Yeah, round bases.
Yes, there will be round bases on the swarms.
So inside your folder for ReaperCon to have a checklist of all the miniatures and stuff that are available at the convention. So the vendor mini, the bundles, what comes in the swag, like
Especially the new stuff.
the graveyards, all that stuff.
You know what? That's going to be great.
So that way you can checklist off.
Oh, so that's going to be great because I'm actually working
Oh,
on
for
that
collectors.
on a separate one, so we can make it into just like a pretty little checklist for you guys. Okay.
Oh, okay. They weren't talking about ReaperCon, but
So he's looking for collectors. So for like every
okay.
mini we have.
yeah. That's
Including
possible, I guess.
possibly limited ones. I mean, that shouldn't be that hard. Courtney has that data somewhere.
Yeah.
Courtney is the king of making spreadsheets.
Mm-hmm.
And so typically if you need a spreadsheet of something, like if you need all of the numbers we carry, Courtney probably has that somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to ask him.
But still, same thing applies for ReaperCon. To have like a checklist, but I would like a photo checklist of like photo mini, like a miniature and then the checklist, the photo miniature, kind of a cool layout.
A cool layout. Yeah.
So that'd
Get
be cool.
Ron on it.
Ooh,
Ron
you
doesn't
know what?
have
Actually,
enough work to do.
I also have an additional idea for that. I'm
Okay.
gonna ponder upon.
And then what else? I have a few things for ReaperCon. We have pictures actually. So,
Yeah.
of a few things.
Oh, yeah.
So the swag bag this year, we opened up a lot of the things to be sponsored by vendors or other companies. And so Dark Sword has, bought a portion of the swag bag. So their logo and everything is going to be on the swag bag. And we got the mock-up for the swag bag before Ron ordered it. And this is the mock-up. So Dark Sword sponsored the swag bag this year. And we were
Heck
talking
yeah.
about the lanyard. I think, did somebody, I can't remember.
No one sponsored the lanyard.
I can't remember. We were talking about it to put it on the actual lanyard part.
I believe he said someone has offered to sponsor the notebook, but it's not
notebook.
confirmed 100% yet.
Yeah.
They're still like
They're still
about
talking about it.
And we do this, obviously, conventions do this. It's been around forever, but it's just to help offset the cost of purchasing all of these things. But it's also good advertising for these companies because let's say you sponsor a lanyard, your name and stuff is all over everybody's lanyards that are walking around and things like that. So, that's cool. So Dark Sword sponsored that. And then this cup. This is one of the others. Is this in the swag bag?
I don't believe that's the swag bag
Okay.
cup. I believe that he's ordering them for possibly the
Brinewind store.
Oh, the Reaper Book
And
store.
Yeah.
possibly also maybe some for the auction, depending on how many he gets.
Okay, so it's just a tumbler.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a nice. It looks like a nice tumbler.
Yeah, he mentioned it in the briefly in the meeting, but didn't say what for.
What it was for. So
Yeah.
this will be at ReaperCon in some capacity. We just don't know where yet. But
There was a couple questions in there.
Yeah.
I see.
One, the bases and the models for the Iconics, were those mix and match?
Ron did say that they were.
They're the same size base,
He
correct?
wanted them to, but I think the Ghoul King and the Ghost Knight are going to be slightly bigger.
Right. So the vampire and the knight dude, I don't
Those can
remember.
swap.
Those can swap. They're about the same size.
Yeah.
But I think the other two might be slightly bigger bases. I think. But it would be cool if you could swap all four of them. I know. I mean, I think you still can. You just have to fill in the gaps, I guess,
Yeah.
if you wanted to
Probably.
keep it there.
Yeah.
Which is not ideal. But I think we wanted to try to have them all to where they can swap, which would be cool.
Yeah, but I think
But-
just the Ghoul and the Ghost King were
Or
just a
I think
little
they're.
bit
I think
too
they're
big.
slightly bigger bases. I think. We don't
th-
have them
yeah,
yet.
I do know those two, the Vampire Queen and the Knight, are definitely the same size bases because I've flipped the printers enough with those
Yeah,
bases.
and
on them.
we have those two.
Yeah, we definitely know those are for sure
Those can
swappable.
fit. But we don't have the last two yet.
Yeah.
So as soon as we get those in and printed, we'll check it.
And
But
hopefully, at least if those two are the same size and they're only slightly
Then it's-
bigger than
you
the
can just do
others,
this.
then it's not too much of a problem.
And I believe somebody asked, and I didn't get to write down the full question before it disappeared off the chat, about buying. I believe it was one of the swag bags.
The swag
if they
bag,
couldn't,
the dark sword
Yeah.
bag.
oh,
I think
these
we
will be
are going to have a
available
couple extra.
online after the convention.
Yeah, after the convention, after everybody's picked their stuff up. I believe all the minis and everything will go online after the convention, so people can get it.
I think Ron is still deciding on the bases. So, like, the models with the bases are guaranteed at ReaperCon.
Yeah, there's gonna be a bundle.
I think he's still
at the store.
debating. I think he's still debating on whether or not those bases will be included when they go to online sale.
Yeah.
People have suggested that they would like it, but
Oh, the skull
we'll
went
see.
to Tazalanche?
Hey,
Ooh,
Taz.
Oh, heck
let's
yeah.
go.
We'd been, that had been sitting around for, I think, like a week or two before it got put into an order. So I'm glad that went to someone who's on Reaper Live.
let's see, Dr. Bob. We will need to buy anything pre-con.
No, everything should be at convention. There's a couple of boxes we've discussed doing that I don't think we're quite ready to announce exactly what they'll be. Those will be available in the store booth. But I don't think there's anything extra before the convention like we've done in the past.
I don't know about extra swag bags at the moment. I will ask Ron about that. I know we did last year. People were able to buy extra swag bags. So if you got a 4-day badge, you could buy extra bags if you wanted to.
We should still be able to do that depending on how many pre-registrations there are.
Writing it down.
And then Freya, when is the trash paint order due? I believe it is due at the end of this month. I think.
Trash, jump in there.
I don't know if Trash is here right now, but all the information is in that post, in his post, so it should be in that Google Doc, so you can check it. But
And then the meet and greet.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
it's
Oh,
still
did I
happening,
not put it on the thing?
That's actually happening. The meet and greet is open this
I don't.
year?
I don't think I need it. Yeah, I didn't put it on there. I'll go put it on there, but it will be open. It'll be free. So unlike last year where we had the big dinner and all that stuff, a paid dinner and all that stuff, I believe this year the meet and greet will be just a buffet style. You come in, you can eat, but it's while food lasts.
Yeah.
So if you get there too late and there's no more food, then you can still just hang out. But we'll still do the Hall of Fame. We'll still do a presentation. I'll be playing the documentary up on the screen, and obviously the normal screen stuff. But it's meant to just be kind of a hangout night before the con. I might also schedule a volunteer meeting that night, kind of an initiation, kind of go over the weekend kind of stuff for the people that are volunteering that are there. So we'll have a little meetup for the volunteers that night as well. And so, yeah, Wednesdays is come and hang out.
Good luck pinning Ron down for anything at ReaperCon. If you can pin him down long enough to play Galaga with him, I don't even care if you beat him. We'll give you something.
Okay, and then the Reaper European store. I don't believe we've had any major updates.
I personally don't know. Maybe we can ask Dave tomorrow on Reaper Land. But I don't know any specific dates or like what the update is on that.
I know the plan is still in place ish.
Yeah, I know.
But
I know it still is, but I don't know where we're at.
I know also Dave's planning on going out to Europe with Vicky at some point
In October?
I don't think October. I think it's earlier than that. I thought it
August?
was July.
Oh, July? Might be
I
July.
think it's like end of June, early July, maybe.
Yeah.
It was mentioned. I was there with Ron and Dave as Dave explained all of the
can
different
ask
things
him
he had to do. So I've gotten a lot of dates mixed up.
Yeah. All right. Anything? Okay. What else on ReaperCon? Do you guys have anything else for ReaperCon?
I know we have technically had a name change. Previously, we said a Sullen Hall box. We're calling it a bundle now.
Sullen Hall bundle.
Oh, yeah.
Sullen Hall bundle.
Okay.
There's going to be 2 boxes and then one thing that's more of just a bundle. There won't be like a fancy box it's in. It'll just be a bundle of all the iconics and a few other things.
Yeah, a few other things that we're trying to get together. So once that's there, we'll have a little like, hey, little advertisement of hey, like what's in the bundle, how you can get it, and pricing.
Okay.
Oh, I do remember someone asked what all is going to be in the swag bag. I know that there's at least a ReaperCon mouseling.
Which I can show you.
Which we have. And then I believe the Sophie, the convention Sophie, will be in there. Which everyone should have seen, I believe, at this point. It's the same one we had at Adepticon with us.
Sister Sophie. Yeah.
The Sister Sophie. So the regular size version of her will be in the swag bag, I believe, is what Ron said. And there is, yes, this is the mouseling. I'm assuming That is what's showing, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, just
Yeah.
making
Yes.
sure. So that is the mouseling. This mouseling does not have his tail on there. The tail will be on there. This was just the old turnaround.
We will have some of the big Sister Sophies at the con as well.
Yes, the big. We will have some big Sophies. We have to nail Ron's foot to the ground about how many we'll be bringing with us, but it won't be. We won't have a super huge number of them. But we're gonna try to bring at least enough that everyone who wants one can get one. I know the swag bag is gonna have some paints in it. I don't remember exactly how many.
I believe it was
It's more than a triad. It's 6 to 12. So we were there was a lot of talk about it. We haven't gone fully into detail about it, but I believe it's more than a triad. But there's definitely going to be some paint in there.
yes.
Paint in some
can't-
capacity.
I can't remember how much else there is in the bag.
I think-
Obviously,
yeah.
the notebook,
And don't they get a shirt as well?
the shirt will be in there.
Yes, if you sign up for your 4-day pass, this is important. If you have to sign up for your 4-day pass before June 30th.
Yes, because that's when we
June
gotta
30th.
put in the order, right?
Yes, because that's the cutoff date to get your shirt pre-ordered. So if you get your badge after June 30th and you don't put in your shirt size, you will not get one. We plan on having extras for sale at different sizes, but if you want to get one pre-order, you have to get your badge before June 30th. And put your shirt size. It's when you get your badge, it'll have that little question in there. So
Yeah.
yep. So that has to be sent off to be pre-ordered, like at the printer, which is right next door.
Why do people keep asking about a mouseling with a dragon?
I'll show them.
Giving away all of our secrets before we
We
get
showed
to
it off
them.
We
already.
showed it last time.
Don't worry about it. I wasn't paying attention last time. I wasn't on the show last time.
All right.
I was over there playing my Switch.
We'll do the next giveaway since we're kind of on time tonight. Anki 2014.
Chambers of Miniatures.
Oh, Mr. Chambers.
Gay Weebles?
Yep.
Yep.
Keldor?
Keldor
Tony Moreno.
2017. What's up, Keldor?
Dang, he was born in 2017 and he's already watching our show. Heck yeah.
You need if you see your name up there, if we said your name, ! Claim. This is episode number 249 for your email that you need to send at giveaways@reapermini.com.
Heck yeah. It's still no Josh. Thank you, John.
This is still open. If you haven't done your hashtag free in, if you came in a little bit late, do your hashtag freeze in now. You only need to do one, and you're entered in for the whole night. So Keldor, you're the last one, brother. Let me go back. Here we go. Ta-da.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then, okay, last thing on ReaperCon real quick, I think. So, yes, a couple of days ago, I got the email for Hobby Hijinks. A lot of you guys might have seen that Hobby Hijinks is not put on the schedule yet. And there's a few reasons why. So I got sent the schedule, and we're reviewing it and making sure it lines up just to make sure that it's fine. But we were informed that Mr. Ludo Paints Bad, as you guys know, Ludo, your friend at ReaperCon, might not be able to make it this year. So, that cued a bunch of panic in my. There's Ludo. So Ludo, the schedule's kind of stuff is up in the air, so he might not be able to make it this year. So. We'll be putting up the schedule, and you guys might have noticed last year we had leader positions for Hobby Hijinks. Yeah, volunteers. So there's the leader positions and the helper positions. And so that was kind of when Ludo had his medical incident, and when people jumped in to help, Ludo had the idea of getting helpers involved. And so right now I think we have most of the helper or leader positions filled for volunteers.
Nice.
I'll be sending out emails to all of them with the rundown and the booklets and the information and all that stuff. So if you're interested in helping with Hobby Hijinks, if you've ever ran it before, or if you've always showed interest in maybe running it, maybe send us an email. It'll get back to us, so you can email me and we'll start talking things through. I know that a couple of people here are probably going to jump in and run some here and there. So it might look a little bit different because everybody loves Ludo. Ludo, it takes a certain type of personality to run that.
Yeah.
You know,
to
and
be
so
on like the whole time.
I mean,
It definitely won't be the same.
yes, yeah. If Ludo can't make it, then it will be a slightly different, but it will still have the spirit of Hobby Hijinks. The spirit will always be there, but I don't think anybody can replace.
Yeah,
Ludo.
we're gonna fill up a whole faction poster with tokens.
Oh.
So it'll be hard to replace it. So hopefully he can make it. It's still kind of up in the air right now with the scheduling and all that stuff. So hopefully he can make it. So yeah. But I think that's the last thing for ReaperCon at the moment. That's a good question. Well, we have UPS on site again. I think so.
Since someone's asking for it, I can probably at least bring a computer that has it installed so that we can do it. It's always been kind of we can do it, but if at least one person's asking for it, I can make sure we have at least a scale and there's a couple of laptops that should have it installed because we were using them for Kickstarter.
Yes.
So.
So most likely we'll have it there.
Yeah, I'll make sure it's there.
Yeah.
I think that's technically
I think that's it for ReaperCon.
Yes.
Wise.
Hopefully. You know. If we think of anything else, we'll break into everything else. No one's here to supervise us, so we can go back and forth between ReaperCon and everything else.
Yeah.
All we want.
Yeah. I know that a lot of the games got scheduled. There's
Yes,
still
I'm
the
currently
Free Blades tournament.
No, I did schedule that because we figured out the tables for the tournament. Ron's going to.
yeah, that's right.
I'm going to harass Ron to make sure it was done. But we Free Blades does a tournament every year. Last year I scheduled them at a single table, not thinking anything about how many spaces they needed, and they needed multiple tables. So we now we're going to have a small tournament space set up that's at minimum big enough for their tournament. And Ron's making sure with the hotel that we'll have tables there. But it'll be put in the main hall away so that we don't take up too many of the gaming tables. Because last year, Saturday's gaming tables were so full that I had a headache for like 2 hours trying to figure out how I was going to squeeze everything in.
Oh, I guess I can show a close up on the table of the dragon. People were asking for the Mouseling Dragon Rider.
Oh, yeah, let's show it.
So I got it. I gotta.
It's right over there, the anniversary dragon.
I gotta go over there real quick. I'll be over there one second.
John's running.
He's running. He should have just put that area right behind him so he could just turn around
Oh, no.
I bonked my head.
That would have been funny.
Ignore this.
We should make a ribbon for anyone that can keep Ron from doing work for 20 minutes.
Nope.
I would
right.
get 6 of those ribbons a day.
Chat, can you hear me? Let me know. Test 1, 2. I think chat should be able to hear me.
I don't. For Mon Maji, the tickets for the Free Blades tournament, I believe they have it set at it's free. But I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't cost you anything to sign up on tabletop events.
No, for harassing Ron.
Oh, tickets to harass Ron, those are completely free.
Yeah.
Please do that.
Yeah, okay. So I want to say I'm showing you this, but this is not the actual size.
Ron wanted it to be the actual size, and I think Kevin almost strangled him.
So it's going to be normal Mouseling size.
Yes, it will be a standard size for gaming.
But this was the test print, and so yeah, there you go.
It looks really cool, though.
It does look very cool.
Yeah.
So.
I've been trying to convince Ron that we can have a display size and a regular mini size, and it would be completely fine to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fun size is really cool, though. I think Ron maybe he might change his mind, but at the last I heard, right now it's only going to be normal size.
It'll be normal size. I mean, Ron definitely likes that size a lot, but for normal purposes, like if you wanted to run Mouselings in a game, you can't use that at all. Or you can, and it just looks weird.
Yeah. I just want to show you in person kind of what it'll look like. This guy's missing his tail, but it'll be on there.
Correct.
But,
yeah. I believe this was this was a version of the STL where it was sent to Ron, and Ron went, "Here, Courtney, you can test it." And then Gene messaged Ron and said, "Oops, I forgot the tail."
Oh no!
And sent him the new STL. But Courtney didn't see that before he tried printing these.
That is a good point, Tazalanch. Well, I'll talk more about that in a second. Okay, so we have this, And then this is the one everybody's been asking about. I don't have it glued to the base. Oh, it's not glued technically. This is all blue tacked on, so I got to be kind of careful with it.
Yeah.
Courtney needs that still to test and make sure everything fits together right before he sets everything up to print.
Here you go.
I love this dragon so much. And that fire breath, by the way, will be in clear.
Clear.
Yes.
The dragon and everything will be normal in gray, but the fire breath will be in clear.
Yeah. And so
Watch me say that, and then tomorrow Ron's going to be like, no, actually, I think we should do it in gray. Makes me a liar.
As of this Reaper Live at this moment, it will be in clear.
It will be all in print, Galvin.
Yes.
It's in multiple parts, obviously. But it is definitely still a print. There's a lot, most of the pieces wouldn't do well in
Silecast.
Silecast.
there we go. So yeah, here's your dragon, your mouseling dragon.
I believe it'll just be regular, like clear. So if you wanted to do a different color breath, you could.
Yes, it'll be clear.
You could do it with Reaper's patented clear glosses that we have.
Send this dragon to Anne. Okay.
Yeah, she'd probably. I think she would actually love painting that.
I might paint one as well.
Yeah.
So I got the painting bug now, but I'll take all the pieces off for you so you can see. So it comes with the base.
Yes.
Like that, and then obviously both wings. Oh.
Yes, there's actually 2 different tops for the mouse. I believe there's a female and a male rider.
I'll show you both.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
the mouseling is absolutely removable.
Here's both the tops. There's a male and female mouseling top.
Oh, I guess it's not fully removable because if you remove the mouseling, there'll clearly be a spot where you need to paste the mouseling.
So it comes with the 2 tops, the 2 body top torsos. But you can see here I got blue tack on the body. But you can see his little legs on the saddle there. So those don't come off. And then the head piece.
I would really love to see one of them get put in the mouth of a dragon as if they were getting eaten. That'd be really funny.
So there's all the different pieces.
Yeah.
And would Reaper ever consider STL file down the line?
Yeah.
Ask that on a day where Ron is here? Question mark.
I know Dave has expressed interest in it.
It's been discussed probably many times over the last couple of years.
It will be something that happens. It's just there's a lot of details to work out.
Yeah.
And
there's pros and cons to it, and they've been weighing them for a long time. Where the Dragon Mouseling is going to be sold at the show?
Yes.
Yes.
I believe this guy is going to be just for sale in the booth.
Yeah, it's not going to be part of anything else, correct?
Nope.
We know
you get
of right now?
You get the standing version.
Yeah.
The smaller standing version in your swag bag.
Right. The small standing mouseling will be in the swag bag, but the dragon riding mouseling will be for sale in the booth. As far as we know, that's currently the only place we're going to post it online, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
As soon as I get like a good copy that's printed. This was the test print, so I got to give this back to Courtney. But this was the test print for the mouseling. But there you go.
I'll say, since you're over there, do you want to
talk about?
Well, I'll say we can show off the June
promo
again, just as a reminder for everybody. Since June is rolling around, we're gonna
right
have
around
new
the
promos.
corner. We showed this off last ReaperCon.
Last Reaper Live.
Last Reaper Live. This is what's it called? Friendship? Teamwork.
It's all the same thing.
This is called Teamwork.
Yeah.
And it's this night, 2 thieves, 2 burglars in the night.
Yeah.
One is picking the lock on this chest, while the other one is keeping watch with his lantern.
Yep, and that will be the free promo for June. When you spend, I believe it was $40, you get that.
Yes.
Ron's doing he's doing one new part each month. So it was 2 parts this last month. This will be 3 parts. The next month will be 4 parts. He's just going to keep going up.
No.
He's
Knowing my
trolling.
luck, that's exactly what he's going to do to me.
But this is really cool.
As if you're not the one on the wheel currently helping with these.
Bob Gnarly's Magic Van. Nice name. Welcome. Yeah, this piece is really cool. Ron he's had a really big hunkering for these kind of story set pieces, like this kind of 2-piece kind of story-ish kind of thing.
Little vignettes that he's doing.
Little double vignettes.
It's actually something Kevin's been talking about doing too, as well, like encounter packs. kind of like the Bridge Troll's Toll, how there's like the bridge and the troll
Yeah.
available and everything. But
These you can just throw in somewhere.
yeah,
it's
these
like
are,
your
these are kind of the
adventurers.
smaller version of that.
Yeah, your adventurers come around the corner and they stumble upon somebody picking a lock or something
Right,
like
yeah,
that. So
exactly.
you can just throw these in your games. And what I really like, it was a good idea that the sculptor Bobby Jackson sculpted these, I believe, is this guy comes off
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and you can see the treasure chest is there, but he's kind of kneeling down, so he's all by himself. But he has the lock in his hand, so you can put him next to a door. You can put him next to like a grate in the wall, or
Oh, yeah.
he's picking the lock on anything.
Yeah.
So I think that's I think that's
you're
really
fine.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you could take this and just kind of put him picking anything. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a cool idea. So great idea, Bobby and Ron, on that one. So yeah, and the lock just rests. As soon as you put him on the base, it kind of rests right inside of that chess piece. So it just rests right up against it. So super cool. This will be available at the beginning of June in a couple of
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
What's
and-
today's
Yeah.
date? 28th?
Yeah,
29th?
today's the 29th.
29th.
Yep, just
So
a couple days.
yes.
just a couple days.
Yep.
And then I can give you a little sneak peek. I'm not supposed to do this, but
Ooh.
Ron gets mad when I do this because this month's not even out yet. But I want to talk about next month's because it's cool. Actually, it might be July's. Which
July's?
one is the
Oh,
Is that July or June?
I believe it's July because
July?
I
Yeah.
believe.
What are you guys talking about?
So in I'll give you a little hint. How would you hint this? When somebody becomes a knight, there's an act that happens
Yeah.
before they become a knight.
Yeah.
And so this scene in July, the July promo depicts that.
Oh, okay,
So,
interesting.
yeah. So pretty cool. I think
When
it's
is
my
Randolph coming out?
ReaperCon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's ReaperCon. Okay.
Yeah. Michael Janae is actually painting him right now. I saw him painting it
Oh.
yesterday in the game store. So there you go.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm hinting at chat. You guys know. So don't mention it to Ron that I told you because it's a whole month away.
Yeah.
But you'll see it later in a couple weeks.
Be really surprised and be like, "Oh wow, that's so cool!"
Yeah.
Just
we had
call
no idea.
call Ron's phone and leave him a message.
No.
No. Since you're over there, John,
Yes.
Do you really want to show off the other things that are in that little
These?
magical box? Yes.
These we tested this before the show, right?
Yeah.
But this is going to be a cool little thing to show you. I think the pictures do it a lot more
yeah.
better
The
justice.
Yeah.
the pictures will be way better than we tried before we started streaming to see.
Yeah.
So Bonita's been testing with literally today because we got them today. They are an additive that is phosphorescent. It reacts to blacklight as in a way that like it either lights up under blacklight or glows in the dark. So she is testing to see if we can do that with any kind of make some sort of additive for it.
Yeah. So she's been testing some new things, and you can
Look at that.
kind of see it a little bit right there.
Yeah, the lock pickers are next month.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are also they do glow under a black light already, but with the actual like clear glass that she did, it is really, really bright.
It is in the paint.
Yes, it's in the paint.
The clear
Oops.
the clear print material does glow under black light, but I think it's just because it's reflecting the black light. So these are kind of glow in the dark paints, Bob.
Yeah.
Well,
It's tests.
it's
for
tests.
now.
It's tests for it because we don't know if it'll work. But these additives, from what we've seen so far, have worked pretty well. But we also have leads on other additives that might glow even more. Those little baby oozes are DRPG.
DDRP.
DDRPG.
Yes. So they are not out yet.
We've just
But-
been using them for these tests because they worked really well for the tests.
Yes. And John can technically show you the fireball as well. This is that fireball from the Mouseling Dragon.
Yeah.
It is a gray miniature primed and painted, and then it has a let me get my little notes out. It has the clear coat with the orange glow inside of it. You can't really see it now, but the reason why I'm pointing this out is because I want to show you the pictures.
Yeah.
The pictures are way better at showing.
Yeah.
They don't show up on camera really well
Yeah.
because we have to have so many lights on
Yeah,
things.
but if John can come, he's gonna come running back. He's gonna show you guys what it actually looks like in just a second.
There you go.
Yeah, those are the
Okay,
little baby
so
oozes.
that is just under a black light. So that's what they look like under the black light, which it doesn't really show anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
The next picture should show what they look like. Oh, so that's just the bin of them under the black light
Yes.
with no additives painted on at all.
Yeah, so if you can go back, John, you see no additive, a little bit additive.
That's the additive. So they do glow a little bit.
This is natural.
That's natural. So there is a difference, and then that's them just sitting out on their own. The left-hand one was painted with a clear gloss with the additive that glows, I believe, orange in the dark.
Yes.
And then the right-hand one was a blue glow in the dark with like a phthalo green additive thrown into the clear gloss.
And now this is just a normal light.
Yeah,
That's just normal. That's under the black light. That's what it looks like under the black light.
with the fireball.
But you'll see once you go to that's what it looks like after you turn all the lights off.
Yeah.
That's what the fireball looks like. And this was just, I think she had like 2 hours at most
Yeah.
to play with these and put them into things and see how they went. So this is just random what she was able to do with them in such a short time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she literally got it from the post box, threw it in some stuff, and was like, "Here."
Here, show these off. We're hoping to do something with these for ReaperCon. Who knows if we'll be able to get, a good thing going by then, but that's the hope, is to do something with these.
This is the same fireball that we just showed you on the top down. So
Yes.
this right here, that fireball is the same one
Yes.
Yep.
in that picture.
Yeah. It doesn't really affect the actual painting on the fireball too. So I think that was really cool because when you look at the fireball, normally you just see the paint job that
Yeah.
she did, and then bam. It would make a sick desktop picture, actually.
Yeah, this looks really cool, especially the hand. You can kind of see the hint of the blue that they were testing.
Yeah, so that she was testing. Where's the picture of the two slimes in the dark?
Yes, that's coming up. Right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the two slimes.
So the left-hand one is that clear, completely clear slime, but in the dark it glows that orange color.
Yeah, just like the fireball.
And then the right-hand one it had that slight green tinge to it from the paint, but it glows that blue. And that was after, I think I had the black light on them for about 30 seconds at most, and then turned the lights off and immediately took that picture.
Yeah. So there they go. That's the same
Yeah.
ones.
Yep.
This is all completely testing. Don't know what we're going to do with this stuff yet, but she just wanted to try and see what could happen with it. It will probably end up being something that is something you gloss over the top of things more so than like a pigment, because the moment you add like paint or something to it, it might dull the effects of the glow in the dark aspect.
Yeah, this is really cool.
I
love
love
that
that
so much.
picture.
Yeah. Because if you look at the actual the model itself, it doesn't you can't even tell. It
Yeah.
just looks like a quick little orange and yellow paint job. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
throw it on there.
But then you just
And then-
turn that light off and bam.
Yeah, it's like so that'd be pretty cool. You paint up all your miniatures and you're all done, and then you put them on your shelves at night or whatever, and then you turn off your lights to go to sleep, and it's like they all glow on your shelf. That's kind of cool. Is that it for those? I think it was.
Yeah, pretty much.
For those, yeah, that was all. That was all we had. We had pulled out like a jellyfish and a couple other things to like paint stuff on, but she didn't have time for a lot. So hopefully within a couple of weeks, maybe we have some more to show you with it.
Yeah, maybe we have some more.
Yeah, we
for-
just got it today.
Yeah, we literally found them after lunch.
Yeah.
Oh, Jata Kako asked, can I get some for dice classes? Are you the one teaching the resin dice classes at night? Maybe email us and then you can talk to Bonita, I guess.
Have we only done 2 giveaways?
Yes.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
missed the
we-
45-minute one
Oh
because
no,
we were over there.
Yeah, we were so excited. I'm sorry, guys.
Here, I'll get that ready.
We'll do that one, and then 6 minutes later we can do the next one.
Yeah.
Keldor, if you're here, you need to claim still. Keldor.
Please claim Caldor.
Trying to draw kilograms, you know?
It's just gonna be 5 kilograms right next to each other.
Here you go.
Okay. Freya's Valkyrie.
Freya.
CJ play.
What was it? Kelrendros?
Yep.
Yeah. Arrow Whiz.
Arrowiz.
Freestyle HQ.
Heck yeah.
Bonk.
Exclamation point claim.
If we said your name, exclamation point claim. Episode number 249 to giveaways at reapermini.com to get your credit.
I'll be right back.
Yeah,
Okay.
249.
Congratulations to all the winners. And then Keldor, you still need to claim yours.
Please.
Let's see, just do this very big so he can see it. If he has this thing off. But okay, everybody claimed except for Freya. Freya, please. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the con that you went to?
Yeah, I'll do that really quick.
Little quick.
Do
Little
that.
show and tell.
Do that real quick. So I know I showed off pictures last year. Oops.
Oh.
Of the paint and take at Board Game Geek Con. We have our own room it's next to the food court, next to the gamers and training area. And this was like day 2 or 1. But yeah, it was busy as ever, just like last year. It's a revolving door, so it's just a constant flow of people coming in and out. This time I tried something new because at Adepticon I got the idea to use these little cups. So if you look on the bottom right there, these little tiny cups, Dixie cups, and I got a bunch of blue poster tack. So these turn into little impromptu handles, hobby holders. Mm-hmm. So I can put their model on it, and then they can hold it while they paint, so they don't get paint on their fingers and stuff. Because a lot of the young people, they have a hard time painting bases and stuff because they'll get it all over their fingers and things like that. And so, but it works both ways because when you're done, you take your model off of the blue poster tack and you put it inside of the cup so you can carry it around with you so it's drying and you're not getting it paint everywhere. So that worked really well. People really loved that idea. So I'll probably be doing that going forward. And you can see we had a little table over here on the right. So generally what would happen is people over the course of the weekend would come in. Maybe they have like an hour or two free. They would start painting. They would go over there and let it dry. They would sit it on the table to dry, and then they would come back after they were done playing board games, or they would come back later that night or the next day. They would work on it again for an hour, 30 minutes. And slowly over time, that table would fill up of people waiting for things to dry before they came and get it. But like I said, a lot of people would come in and out to kind of work on things. So yeah, this was our room. There's Mech Boy, one of our volunteers in the red shirt. He'll be helping out with the DGS tournament at ReaperCon. Yeah. But he helped me all weekend, so thank you, Leland. And Trashorama was there. He was painting next to me on the left. We were, showing people how to do washes and dry brushing and things like that, doing helpful tips for people that wanted it. I did a little bit of sculpting, so I was doing some sculpting on this iPad right here. And I painted my second miniature ever. I've worked here for 15 years and I've never painted much, but I just sat down and started painting. So I painted my second miniature ever.
Yeah, the first miniature I ever painted was helping out a paint and take.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of downtime sometimes before like the lunch break. Like everybody goes to lunch, so you're kind of slow a little bit. So I just sit down. But I'm sitting there. People come in. I put my miniature down, help them, and then pick it back up, and then wait for people to come in. How do you work for So Cool Minis and not paint them? I don't know.
Listen, the reason I don't is because anytime I sit down to try and paint anything, one of our dogs just starts looking at me with sad eyes, and Lauren calls over from the couch and goes, "Pet them." Yeah. And so I have to put down everything I'm doing to go pet them instead of painting. And then I just give up. I
do collect old school metal miniatures, but that's a different story, though. Mm-hmm. I do have a good, nice collection, especially some that are painted by other people.
I collect so many minis, and none of them are painted.
Oh, yeah. So many.
And I showed people this on Discord, and I was like, I feel like a painter now. I was doing this.
What were you doing there? What are the lines on your hand from?
Like when you sometimes when you're like done with the paint, you can do that.
It's to get a tip on your paintbrush.
Yeah, like
or you've loaded your brush.
A paper towel for that.
Or you've loaded your brush up with too much paint.
You just
okay. Yeah, I always use a paper towel for that. Should I just be using my hand for that instead?
Yeah, you can.
You can, but I think I like it though.
Yeah.
I think it looks cool. This is the miniature I did. I did the Plague Doctor that we had there. I was very pleased with it. I was very happy.
Yeah, it looks good.
For my second miniature ever, I was pretty pleased. But, I was telling people, because I would say, yeah, well, this is only my second miniature ever, and they were like, wow, that's really good. And I'm like, well, being around a bunch of these really like experienced painters and listening to them talk on Twitch and stuff, and while they're painting, I've picked up a lot of things, and I'm an imitator, so I learned by imitating. But I knew about zenithal priming and lining and washing and dry brushing and highlighting. So I've just been around all that stuff, but I was very pleased with it. But yeah, there you go,
It's
chat.
really good.
So you might see me painting a lot more on stream now that I've got the jitters out of the way. I was just always scared to start. I think that was the hardest part.
Yeah, well, especially working here, sometimes it can feel a little bit overwhelming, and all the new people come in and they're like, oh, well, you guys got these good painters and I don't know where to start. And I was like, just pick one up and just go. That's how you do it.
That is part of the problem is you go to ReaperCon and you look at all the really amazing
you get a
things
little
everyone does,
discouraged.
and then you go, I can't match that, and you just shrug and walk away.
Yeah. So there you go. Was there something else over here? Oh, I also painted this little shroomy. But
yeah.
he's just a
That's
quick...
not a shroomy, John.
Oh, sorry.
I love him.
Little mushroom man whistling through the woods. So I practiced lining on this guy, and then I wanted to try stippling on the top there.
Yeah.
If you guys can't see it, there's like tinier red dots all on there.
Yeah, for some reason it's not focusing. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, and then I did his little mushrooms that are growing on his body, highlighted pink on a red shelf. But yeah, maybe I'll enter the MSP. Who knows? I got 3 months. No excuses, Jack.
I'm going to try and do something for the MSP Open for my first time ever. That's actually as a just as a general thing. I'm sure some of you were into Scene's Vault at one point and saw that he posted some test prints, and you might have seen a large shroomy looming in the background. Yeah. So that was specifically a thing that I had an idea for, that I asked Courtney if he could just blow that up and print one for me. Where my initial idea was I was going to paint a lot of little shroomies in like a diorama, all worshiping one big shroomy. And then I had another idea where I went, oh, wait a minute. What if I do...
Don't give it away. Don't give it away. Don't give it away so they can see it.
No, I'm going to give it away, because then if I fail and I don't do it, you all can laugh at me and make fun of me.
There's the big shroomy right there.
Yeah. Just lurking there in the background. I love it.
He's big too.
My second idea, which I think is the one I'm going to try to do. We'll see if I can manage it. Ron is the one who was like, no, that's the one that I want to see, which was the Battle of 5 Shroarmies, where it's 5 different shroomy armies. And then like one of the big shroomies will be like the ogre that they have chains on, and they're like holding him like the orcs are leading him to the battle because they can't get him to help otherwise. I've just got to figure out how to do all of that, and I don't know if I'm going to manage it by ReaperCon this year. Maybe next year if I can't, but
maybe instead of graveyards, the next year we just do a shroomy army.
We have an idea. I brought up an idea for next year's ReaperCon.
Yes. A good idea.
A good one. But Lauren had an idea before we started doing the graveyard thing this year for ReaperCon about build your own potion. And so I think that would be a good fit for that next year.
Yeah, I wanted to ReaperCon. I wanted to do a build your own potion little section where you can go by and like build a little potion bottle, if you wanted to, and you can take it home and everything. But just sourcing material in time for ReaperCon wasn't great in such a short span of time. So, but
it'll fit great for next year's theme. At least everybody seems to be on board with the theme, so that might be the theme for next year. So. Yeah. I know Ron doesn't like it very much, but we all like it. And Ron said we get to choose next year.
Ron's also the one who said, "Hey, you guys, let's vote on it," and everyone gets to like put their hat in the ring to choose.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited for next year's theme.
Yep.
Especially for the miniatures. I think it'll be really cool.
Yeah. We talked. Did we talk about someone asked about more larger minis like 75 millimeter? I think you said you were going to talk about that.
Huh? Oh, this is a little bit separate, but yeah.
Do you want to pull names real quick for the last giveaway?
Yeah.
We're going to pull some names real quick for the last giveaway, just in case people have to skedaddle. The gumball machine, I do believe we are looking into doing that again for sure.
Really?
The mini gumball machine. We're
Yeah,
looking
we've
into it.
we've discussed that. We have to pull it out and see if anyone remembers how to use it.
Yeah.
The minis and the gumball machine. We have a specific idea for this year. They might not be like minis, but ready?
Yep.
Dan
Dan
Chan.
Ooh, I
990.
didn't know we were all saying it together.
Mon Maji.
Madman 43056.
Coffee Nerdery Bear.
Beer.
Beer.
Yeah.
Bear. Beer.
Sharpta Smoka. Sharpta Smoka.
Yeah.
There you
Still
go.
not Josh.
All right, your claims are now open. So exclamation point claims. This should be the last one, I believe. This is episode number 249. So if you see your name in that list and you claimed it all tonight, that is what you need to put in your email to giveaways@reapermini.com. And you won your gift card. Coffee.
Oh no.
Coffee. Someone ping her on Discord. Oh, I see her. She's typing. Exclamation point claim. Coffee. You might have did it too early. So there you go.
That.
There
That
you go.
means Ron's not here. You could do more. I like that.
Okay.
As if someone won't look back and go, "Why were there so many giveaways that night?"
Speaking of Kara, ReaperCon. Remember last Reaper Live we talked about sending the vampire to Miss Curly to paint. She has some work in progresses that she sent me, so I have those.
Ooh.
Right here.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Let me go full screen. Look at that. This is still a work in progress, I believe, as a couple of days ago when she sent this to me. But this is the vampires.
Kara, this is why I don't paint anything, because these things look amazing, and then I feel bad about my limited skills.
Oh, she sent me the finished one.
Ooh.
Hold on, I gotta go to. I don't want to leak messages, so.
She sent you just now. She said,
You sent me a Google Drive. Why'd you send me a Google Drive?
"God, why couldn't you just send a picture
Oh my
like
gosh!
a normal person?"
You sent me what?
Everything.
I don't. Okay, quick, Kara. You sent me a whole Google Drive of everything.
Yeah, look for the one that says test finish
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something. I don't,
Ooh.
Here you go.
why is it a penny?
A
per scale?
2000.
Just to
Where's
show
Sir
precise.
Where is Sir Four Scale? I'm upset. There's no Sir Four Scale.
Here's the back.
Ooh.
I think Kara can type in chat, but it looks like you did some kind of double OSL type stuff, or like maybe her dress is red, but there's like a moonlight or a soft blue light coming from the backside.
Kara, there's your problem. You shouldn't have sent it to Ron in the first place. Ron didn't even tell John that he wasn't going to be on Reaper Live tonight.
Yeah, I didn't know Ron wasn't going to be here. Look
I
at all the
had to
freehand.
tell him.
Look at all the freehand on the dress. So cool. So cool. But yes, I like the blue and the red combo of everything. With that little
This
moonlight.
is sort of OSL, right?
Yeah.
Or-
Well, you can see it's like a
Yeah, with
moonlight
the-
effect.
yeah,
in the
yeah,
back,
moonlight effect. Okay.
I think.
Not
Correct me.
exactly OSL because it's not on the object.
Yeah, it's coming from a different direction.
Yeah.
There's another object emitting light coming from that direction.
Yeah.
So, and look, there's a little bit of blood coming from the cup onto the
Ooh,
base.
The little spill right
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
it's like spilled onto the base. Nice. Oh, there's the bard from last year.
Oh, was she last year or was she 2 years ago?
I can't remember.
I don't remember. I don't
All right,
remember
let me
either.
go. There's a ton of pictures in here.
The moment like ReaperCon ends,
Here we go.
my mind is completely put like blank of everything that happened.
Let's go to X full so we can see in all its glory. So we'll probably show this off probably tomorrow on social media and stuff like that. But because I showed off the knight, I don't know who's painting that one, but yeah, love her. I love all the iconics this year. They're really cool.
Yeah. I do really like all of the iconics. Ron definitely
This year they
went
were
ham.
good.
Yeah, the bases are really cool, especially this one in particular because of this graveyard on the base. Since we're doing 3D printing for these, you can do this. So we were really worried about the fence. You can see the fence surrounding that graveyard right there. That's all in one piece, all intact on the base. So shout out to Kara for your lovely paint job on this one.
Oh, and I guess it's also kind of ReaperCon themed. We do know that the kids' bags should have miniatures from Christine in them.
Christine.
Yeah, Christine Van Patten will have minis for the kids' bags, similar to how we did with what year was it? 2021.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
Skippy and Scuttle, and then oh my
Somebody
gosh,
named Jewel.
Yeah,
Crossbones.
Crossbones and Jewel. So I believe Christine's doing models that are for or has already done the models. I can't remember for the kids bag. I don't think we have anything to show about them, but Courtney and Bonita mentioned them.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be printed.
Most likely.
But those will be in the kids bags, and they'll probably also be for sale. But
And our lovely checklist that I'm going to create for
Yeah,
everybody.
So things that are coming up: Hobby Hijinks schedule. Manufacturer awards will be announced hopefully next week. Hopefully, got to get with them. And there might be a special award that Ron hasn't approved yet, but there might be one. Maybe involving this guy.
is it the golden maggot?
Yeah.
Is it the golden maggot? I was really excited when I saw this.
This guy.
I immediately went and showed Bonita and Lauren.
Yeah,
So there
he's-
might be an award for the MSP for this guy. It hasn't been approved yet, but it's still being talked about with the MSP staff. But there's a little screenshot. It's on the Discord. We'll talk about it when it's completely confirmed. Yeah.
Listen, I immediately showed Lauren and Bonita, and they were like, "Yes."
So cute.
Yeah, it's in conjunction with Kara and our lovely Quindy LaRue.
And then,
So they're working on it, I think, together. I think
75mm discussion, John. So we stopped.
Yep.
So we stopped forgetting about it.
75mm discussion. Oh,
Yeah.
I've talked about this before. It's been a good idea that people have come up with. I know that Miniatures Den had the idea and he talked about it. And the cool thing is for instance, that mouseling, you guys are going to get the mouseling version, the normal size. But people keep asking us about larger models and doing bigger things. And we had the idea that in the future, we might do a monthly special. Like we choose a model that is a normal size. And for that month only, like let's say it's January, you can get a larger 50, 75mm version of it. So you can buy it during January, and then we'll have time to print it and then send it out to people. But then February is a new model. So that model will go away, or you won't be able to get it anymore at that size. And then February will be a different model.
yes.
So there's a lot of logistics with that. And it's because sometimes when things are sculpted at this size, they have a certain amount of detail or stuff, that's sculpted for this size. But when you try to blow it up to 75 or 50 millimeters, sometimes it doesn't look that great.
Yeah.
So it would either need to be like touched up or whatever. But some models still look good at that size. So
Right.
it's just going to have to be like kind of a pick and choose kind of a situation.
It's not a simple matter of just scaling it up.
Yeah.
It has to be scaled up, tested, and then most likely Kevin and Daryl are going to have to look at it and fix small things. Because usually when you scale it up, it's not a lot, but it's usually fine-tuned detail that they have to like stare at for, an hour to fix.
Yeah, and so that
it's
way
little stuff.
And we wanted to do it like by like a monthly thing and ship it when it's done kind of a situation is because it's going to take up a lot of time on the printers.
Yes.
So let's say we do the mouseling and we make a bigger version of it and it's available for February. Let's say 500 people order it or whatever, because then we got to print 500 of them and then ship them. But there needs to be a thing in place where it's like, hey, we got an order. So like new releases come first. So if there's new releases that need to be printed, that comes on the order list to be printed. And then, so it's going to need some massaging a little bit to figure out. But that is an idea that we've been playing with for a couple of months now. And I think people really like it. People really want artist scale, I think is what they're, artist prints.
Yeah, I
of
saw
models.
someone painter scale.
Painter's scale.
Yeah.
And so...
And I think I saw someone mention Anne. Anne was a big proponent of this when she was here. She talked to me at least for a few minutes about the idea that once you're like at a certain point where you're like, okay, maybe your hands shake. Like my hands do shake. Painting anything small, I can't do. So like something a little larger is really nice for anyone that needs like a little bit larger area to paint on. And the first one she recommended was, I think,
One of the ReaperCon iconics.
30,067 actually. The one that you packaged today for me for the 331.
Yeah, her.
She was one of the very first ones that Anne was like that. She's a beautiful model, but she has such fine details that realistically at a small character size, you can't easily get all of that So like if we could do her at like a 75 millimeter scale, potentially that would be amazing.
Yeah, I like the staff and like the skull and all that stuff.
Exactly.
You know.
Like all of her little details on there. And it would be someone said a pre-order type thing. We might print if we end up doing this, if we can end up convincing Ron, it would probably be a pre-order type thing where like during January we sell her, but she's shipped in February.
Yeah.
Like once January ends and we know how many we need to make, then we take the month to print them whenever we're able to fit them onto the printers.
Yeah.
But we might print, a few ahead of time just so that once February hits, we can ship off the first, like, let's say 50 people that ordered or whatever.
Yeah. But that's a whole lot of detail that we would have to figure out.
We really, really want to. It's just a matter of figuring out all those little minutia of, how much effort it'll take because... unfortunately with the printers, anytime you print something that large, they take a long time and then you have to, it's going to get done at whatever time we need to come in and flip them. Cause I've been coming in at like 10 o'clock at night to flip the printers and start the next thing on them.
Oh, she would be another good one.
This is the one that I would want is Terrazinia.
She's also a really good one.
But a lot of people were saying is you see all the skulls on the boots and things like that and the skull in her hand. You would probably need to add a little bit more detail if you were going to make it bigger. Maybe.
Once you blew her up, she might require a little bit of touch
like
up.
texture. I think the big thing is texture. Like it needs a little bit more texture to them when they're that big.
Yes.
Because right now they're kind of smooth, especially the skulls. Like if you look at them, they're pretty smooth. But if you make them bigger and things like, especially like this skull, if you make it really big, it might just look a little bit too soft and rounded. So you just need to kind of add things to it, I think.
Which isn't super difficult. I say that I couldn't do it, but actually with the swarms we were talking about earlier, Kevin pulled the original masters and they were originally greens. So he had to scan them into the program, and then he had to, because it's whenever you scan an item in, it smooths everything out. So then he had to go in and spend several hours deepening all the lines and making sure it actually looked the way it did originally, as much as he could. Obviously, he can't get it perfect 100% 1-to-1 ratio, but he was able to. But that would probably be similar if we blew something up like that. He'd have to go in and make sure everything looked the correct way.
Yeah.
So we would definitely need a good pipeline workflow for that.
And they probably wouldn't be for sale consistently beyond that point.
Yeah,
it would be a
only that
monthly.
month.
It would be a month-to-month thing.
Yep. Just to make it easy for printing, and I say easy, but just not to overburden printing and production. And things like that.
You're right.
But I think it's a good idea.
It's a thought, and we're like we said, we've all been championing that idea for a little bit.
Yeah. I think Dave's on board for it too. Dave has also just been trying to he's been just like, where are we going to put more printers? I heard him talking to Ruben earlier today, where he's just like, where would we put more printers to be able to just like, all right, we got to knock down that wall.
Yeah, even 1/4 would be really good to have too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. CNOT's on.
Yeah, I was
tonight.
like, we're over by 18
1/4 would
minutes.
be good.
CNOT
Keep it open for like a month and just make it fulfilled by the end of the month.
Yeah.
That would be really good.
Let's see. All right.
Hi, Reaper Harley.
Hey, Reaper Harley, you're up late. I'm assuming Dave's listening in too. They're like, wow, they're 20 minutes past.
Yeah.
I was like, or he's asleep, and she just decided she was bored.
Well, I mean, like I said, the adults are away, so the kids will play. We're 20 minutes late, and we started on time.
Yeah, I know, right?
So
and we didn't even hit everything. But
this was a good episode.
Yeah.
They're awake. Yeah. So we'll see you tomorrow. We're gonna be rating CNOT Bush. So we're gonna be rating CNOT. He's doing some
Those
stuff
7 all printers.
CNOT Bush.
Not it for
Got
the
it.
flips. Once
Not
we
it.
have like 40 printers, I'm not. That'd be a lot.
Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thanks,
being
guys.
here. It was a good stream. It was good to be back. Yeah. That's it.
Oh wait.
What?
Yeah.
We didn't talk about what we've been doing outside of work.
Nah.
That's
I
for
see.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we talked. Yeah, we can talk about it tomorrow. So.
Dang, are all of us going to be on tomorrow's show?
If y'all want to, come on
Maybe.
by.
Bruh.
Maybe.
Reaper Dave. Yeah, tomorrow. We'll have 10 people on tomorrow.
Let's go.
Just
Just go around the factory with the camera.
everyone's gonna be on.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, I gotta start the raid first.
Oh,
there
well.
we go. All right.
Bye.
Bye.